What?
What?
What the hell is this?
Harumph. I didn't get a harumph out of that guy.
Give the governor harumph.
Harumph!
You watch your ass.
I see you shiver with anticipation.
Let the show begin.
Hey everybody, this is David Heretic coming at you with another edition of Reactions, Reviews, and Rants. And tonight's... Okay, making their debut on the channel tonight. We have Extreme. Yes indeed, how about that? Extreme making their debut on the channel. This comes as a request from Derek Galbraith, and Derek wanted to see me react to this song by Extreme called Cupid's Dead. Now, have I heard of Extreme? Yes, I have. I'm actually a very big fan of the second album they ever put out. I mean, the first album was okay. It was like, yeah, it was very typical at the time, but the second album they put out, Pornography, that was a fantastic album from start to finish. I loved that album. They released Extreme 3. Now, I didn't get it because I was going to get it, but I heard like the big hit off of it, and I really wasn't impressed by it. So I didn't buy it, unfortunately. I didn't get it. So I was like, nah, I think I'm going to pass on it. Besides, my musical tastes were starting to change anyway at that point. Let's see. This song, as far as I know, I don't think I've ever heard this song. It does not resonate with me. It does not ring a bell in any way, shape, or form. However, there is always a chance I may have heard the song in passing, and I just don't realize it. So as always, if I start listening to the song and I suddenly go, wait a second, I've heard this before, I'll let you know.
That's the truth.
You know me, I'm going to be honest with you guys. This was posted by Kilana Prohoman. I hope I pronounced that right. And the video itself has 1.3 million views. It'll get you there. Other than that, there's really nothing else left to say. Link to the original video will be down below in the description for your viewing pleasure at your leisure. Let's get started. What do you say? Are you ready? Are you ready? Because here we go. All right, here we go. Extreme, Cupid's Dead. Live at Boston in 2009. Cool. All right, let's do this.
All right, boy, let's do this.
Good God Almighty! Woo! Yeah, our top story tonight is a crime of passion. The victim, an unidentified man, was found in bed wearing only a diaper, holding a bow and arrow in one hand and clutching a letter in the other. The letter simply read, Cupid's dead.
Seeing some great things, hearing some great things so far. Let's start with the seeing. Great interaction between, oh God, I don't even know if they're the same guys. I'm not sure. I'm just going to go with guitar and bass for right now. Between guitar and bass, great interaction between them. Lead singer jumps up on the drum riser, turns around, faces the crowd. always, you know, a good entrance, you know, very showy. So far, so good from a visual standpoint. Musically, that unison riff that the guitar player and bass are playing together, very catchy. Very catchy. Great groove being set up by the drummer, which is fantastic. Always good to have a drummer that can set up a good feel and set up a good groove to have a great song built around. So far, so good. I'm not opposed to this in any way, shape, or form. This is really good so far. Let's keep going. Let's see what happens here. Good harmony. Oh, harmony again. Switching sides, good. Very catchy chorus. Really catchy chorus. I'll tell you one of the reasons why it's so catchy. In the first half of the chorus, everybody's singing unison. You know, everybody's singing the exact same thing. On the second half of the chorus, though, the backing vocalists, they split and they go into a harmony, which is really cool. It creates that little differential, that little attention gear that makes you go, wait a minute, they didn't do that the first time, but now they're doing it here, and it grabs people's attention. It does. It makes it noticeable. It makes it memorable, and that's really smart. Again, the pacing of the song, upbeat, fast tempo, great energy. Musicians switching sides, always good. I love it when musicians get wireless units, you know, for the first time or whatever. You can always tell when a musician gets a wireless unit and he's never used one before, and he has it for the first time, because they typically do not they typically do not move around a lot. They're so used to being conditioned to being stuck in place due to the fact that they're stuck with a cable. You know what I mean? So they'll stay in place. And I asked them, I'm like, you know, you got this wireless. Why aren't you moving around? And they usually answer, I keep forgetting I have one, or they forgot, or even worse, the people that don't even realize it. Like, you know, they'll be playing and they have a wireless, right? And they're not moving around stage at all. They're literally anchored to their spot. So, and I'll ask them, so why'd you buy a wireless? And they'll look at me and they'll go, so I can move around the stage.
You what?
Really? How much moving around did you do? Wirelesses are great. Don't get me wrong. I love wireless units, especially Sennheiser wireless units. They're fantastic. I think they're the best out of everybody. I know a lot of people like, well, sure this and sure that, and yeah, okay, sure. I've owned like 3 Shure wireless units, and none of them have ever worked nearly as well as my Sennheiser does. But it doesn't matter what brand you use, as long as you have a wireless, so you can have the freedom to move around the stage. And if you're playing with a cable, look, you could move around stage with a cable. It's fine as long as you lock the cable in place. The last thing you want to do is you're walking along and someone steps on your cable and you keep walking. It's going to unplug. Be careful with that. A lot of instruments now come with cable locks. You plug it in, and it actually locks the cable in place. Those are nice. I definitely recommend those if you can get your hands on them. But you know, if you have a really, really long cable, it shouldn't stop you from moving around stage. But great energy, great stage presence from everybody. Lead singer, I believe that's Gary Sharon, and I don't think he's changed. Doing a great job interacting with the crowd, moving around, getting down with the crowd, leering into the crowd. Awesome job on his part. No, like I said, so far so good. So far so good. I am enjoying this. Let's keep going here. Let's see where this takes us.
Cupid's dead. Hey, that red. Cupid's dead. No. Our top story tonight is a crime of passion. The victim, an unidentified man, was found in bed wearing only a diaper, holding a bow and arrow in one hand, clutching a letter in the other. The letter simply read, Extra, read all about it.
Nice retornado there. Really nice.
Are you ready to get down? Patrick! Take feet! No! 1, 2,
See, this is what I'm talking about. Great interaction here, doing the whole face-off, you know, you challenging me, I challenge you type of thing, and they do the unison lines together. That's always fun. It's all done in good fun. The crowd knows this. Their unison lines are tight. They are really, really tight. They are just as tight as I remember them from way back in the day, from the second Extreme album. I think that's kind of a signature of theirs, is to be able to play those unison lines together and play them as cleanly and as tightly as they do. So clean and so tight that they can do stuff like that where, you know, the bass player tries to mess with the guitar player's strings and the guitar player's like, get away, you know, and, you know, while still playing, you know, it's fun to watch. This is what I'm talking about when I'm talking about, like, interaction, you know, between the musicians. They're putting on a show. They are absolutely putting on a show, not just with what they're playing, but with their antics and what they're doing. And as you can see, faces in the crowd, smile, 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 smile. Everyone's having a good time. Everyone's enjoying it. Not one person is looking at their watch, you know, or looking around or anything. No, everybody's eyes are on the stage watching these two put on a show. This is what I'm talking about. Anyway, let's keep going here. Next couple there. It is simple. Nice. Little halftime feel there. Okay. All right. Messing with his tuning pegs. Don't do that. That's just rude. At least you put it back. That's good. Hope you put it back in the right spot. I like how they're all up on the drum riser. It does. It gets a little tight. It gets a little cramped, but there's that sign of unity. You know, when you guys are all together up on the drum riser, rocking out with the drummer, there is that symbolism of unity, which is always a good thing. You always do want to kind of project that to the audience. You know, you guys are one. You guys are, all on the same team. You're able to rock out together and have fun. So that's good. That's really good. We got a minute and 12. Let's finish this out. Well, a minute and 22 now. Let's finish this out and we'll get to the review.
Cupid's dead.
Very nice.
That's Mr. Patrick Badger on the bass guitar.
Oh, it's Patrick?
K-Fig on the drums. Nuno Betancourt.
It is still Nuno, okay. So that's like all the original members still. Wow, I had no idea those were all the original members. Except the drummer. I'm not sure if that's the original drummer, but Patrick was the original bassist. Nuno was the original guitar player. And like I said, I know that's Gary Sharon. Wow, they've threw me for a loop. Okay. That explains a lot, actually. That explains a lot. Okay, I have some thoughts, obviously, and I will share those thoughts with you in the review. Well, there you go, folks. That was Extreme with Cupid's Dead. This was a request from Derek Galbraith. All right, on a scale of 1 to 10, I'm going to give that an 8.5. Yep, 8.5. I feel good about that score. Let me tell you why.
Why?
This sounded like old Extreme. It did. This song sounded like it could have very easily have been put on the second album. I mean, without question, this song would have absolutely fit. It had that rock funk feel, or that funk rock feel, depending on how you look at it. It was, I mean, don't get me wrong, it was straight ahead 4/4 time. It was, but the placement of the snare on the upbeats quite often, and those accents, and those accidentals, they just really kind of add to the funk feel, and that's really, really cool. Very typical of funk, and it fit inside the context of a rock feel, so it really felt good. Great groove set up by the drummer. The song itself, like chordally, the chordal structure of the song, not difficult at all. It's a pretty easy song from a chordal standpoint. That has nothing to do with what was being played. To be clear, I'm just talking about how the song was designed. You know, we're in this key, now we're in this key, now we're in this key. You know, I'm talking about that. You know, that was pretty simple. Okay, now what the guitar and bass were doing as far as note selection and what they were playing, that is a whole nother subject that we're going to get to in a little bit. No, I'm just talking about the song in general as a whole. The feel was good. The tempo was good. I like the use of dynamics that they were using, where they would come down slightly and then they become right back up immediately. The use of the ritardando in the middle, right before they went into that instrumental breakdown between Nuno and Pat. I found that is Pat Badger. I blew me away there. I didn't know that was him. I didn't know he was still in the band, and Nuno I didn't know was still in the band either. So really good to see two of the original members still in the band along with Gary. I don't know about the drummer. I'm not 100% sure if the drummer is the original drummer or not. Trying to remember who the original drummer was.
3 hours later.
I don't remember. I don't remember who the original drummer was. I'm sitting here racking my brain trying to remember, and I cannot remember for the life of me. Anyway, it doesn't matter. I'm not sure if that was the original drummer or not, but in any case, right before they had that breakdown, though, where they went into the instrumental face-off between Pat and Nuno, they did that retardando to bring it down, you know, really decelerate the pace and slow down to the, you know, impact hit. Boom, they sustain. And then, you know, Gary comes to the front, riles them up. Are you ready? Are you ready? You know, it just, you know, riles up the crowd, gets them fired up for what's coming next. He shoots off stage, probably to get a drink of water or something, while, you know, Nuno and Pat have their little duel. Now, let's talk about that. Well, let's talk about, okay, let's not talk about that yet. Let's talk about musicianship as a whole first. Drumming was rock solid. Loved it. Loved all the accents that he was hitting on those upbeats to give it that funk feel. Good cymbal usage, not overly used, which I was really happy about. Nothing too flashy from him, except at the beginning. He had that little, I don't know if you would really call that a drum solo. I mean, it was a solo spot, but I don't know if I would go as far as to call that a full-blown drum solo. But it was really nice. Really good way to start the song off. No, rock solid drumming, though. Absolutely rock solid. Bass playing, Pat Badger. I've always been an admirer of his. I've always admired his playing. Great technique, great unison line ability to play with Nuno. And I love his tone. He's got a great tone. He always has. Nuno's guitar playing is phenomenal. It always has been. It probably always will be. Very impressive guitar player. I would put him up there with other guitar virtuosos. You know, Steve Vai, Joe Satriani, Yngwie. I would definitely put him up on that level. He is very, very talented on the guitar. And he had a good opportunity to show off here and show what he can do a little bit, which was nice. But not going so out there that you lost track of the song. You know what I mean? He still kept it kind of grounded, which was nice. Gary Sharon's vocals, surprisingly enough, after all these years, he still sounds good. He's taking care of his voice, clearly. It doesn't sound like he's lost a step at all. It sounds really nice. The showmanship in this performance was fantastic across the board. This is one of the main reasons why they're getting the 8.5 is their showmanship. They put on a show, start to finish. There was never one time where my eyes were not on the stage watching something happening as far as a stage presence factor comes in. There was always somebody moving, there was always interaction, there was always motion, there was always crowd interaction, there was always interacting with each other. Something was constantly happening on stage to keep the crowd engaged with their eyes to watch what's happening. You know, we are predatory animals, and our eyes are attracted to movement and motion. And there was never one time in that entire performance where everybody was standing still. Somebody was moving around at some point during every single second of this song. A lot of interaction, a lot of mic switching, a lot of stage switching, interacting with each other constantly. It was fun to watch. It was a lot of fun to watch. Finally, okay, let's get to the unison stuff. Okay, let's get to it. Yeah, as tight as ever. These two, I love listening to these two play together. I do, because their unison stuff is so spot on. It's frightening. Nuno's never playing too fast or too quick that Pat can't keep up. And when he does, like when he went into his little sextuplet riff, it was to end the phrase to go into the next phrase. So he was using it as a setup. He wasn't, doing the sextuplets everywhere that, Pat couldn't follow. For the most, like I said, other than those little, sextuplet fills that he did like, 3 times through the course of the entire song, when the rest of the time when they were in unison, they were right in unison, and it sounded really good. Super tight as always. Very impressive. So yeah, this was a great performance. Great song. I like this song, actually. I gotta figure out what song this album's on. I need to figure that out. I need to go take a look and see what album this song appeared on, because I may have to go check that album out. I might have to. If the rest of the songs of that album are like this, I definitely need to get the album. So, 8.5, final score, I have spoken. Well, that's going to do it for this edition of Reactions, Reviews, and Rants. Hopefully you'll enjoy the show. Hopefully I was able to entertain you. If I was able to put a smile on your face and brighten your day, then I did my job, and I'm so glad I could do it. If you did enjoy the show and you would like to see more videos like this, feel free to join the fan base by clicking on that button down there. Yeah, you know the button I'm talking about. Click on that button, join the fan base, and become one of us. Now, for whatever reason, if you don't feel like clicking on that button, that's okay. I still respect you. Also, if you did enjoy the video, please feel free to give the video a thumbs up. It'll do me a world of good, and it will do you absolutely no harm whatsoever. Finally, if you guys do join the fan base, you will find a bell down there that you can click on. By clicking on that bell, it'll keep you up to date on everything happening with this channel, including when new content gets dropped. So, if you want to stay in the know, click on the bell, and you'll stay in the know. Well, that's going to do it for the night, folks. Until next time, this is David Heretic signing off, reminding you to stay fabulous and support each other. Later, peace.